Alright, today's topic, amongst many others, shall be footwork, correct foot placement when dealing with the right hand boxer and or the southpaw boxer. So we're going to start it off with Mr. Manveer and Gio, Manny in the south, Gio in the north. Manveer touches him with a jab, notice his right foot is on the outside, but Gio retaliates by taking back that outside foot spacing, replacing Manny's with his, and is able to execute a slight straight right down the middle, making contact with Manny's headgear. Alright, in the isolated still image, you can clearly see right foot outside by Manny, and also his jab is down the middle of Gio's guards. Basically, he's able to get a little bit better access down the middle due to his lead foot being outside. Alright, in the following clip, Gio retaliates by taking back superior foot positioning by replacing his left foot on the outside of Manny's lead right. He's also now able to get his straight right hand down the middle of Manny's guards, once again due to his body position. On a secondary note, seeing that Gio has the superior foot placement on the outside of Manny's lead right, besides the ability to punch or gain access better, there's other negative. The southpaw now is prevented from making that southpaw exit and getting out of harm's way. Manny's kind of forced to continue backwards during Gio's offensive attack. And on a third note, for the noobs that might not have been around when I was discussing this in detail in the gym, only try to get superior foot placement when you're attempting to go offensive and or for defensive purposes. There's no way for the entire 2, 3, even 5 minute rounds will you be able to keep your right foot if you're a southpaw on the outside of the north stance boxer and vice versa. So don't even waste your time. Box normally. But whenever you decide that you want to attack or attempt to do something, first thing you need to do is get that lead foot set up for the outside. Alright, next clip, Manny and John. And as you can see, Manny's right foot taking the lead, being on the outside of John's lead foot, gives him a tactical advantage of placement of his glove. Okay, let's break it down in the still image. Here you can clearly see John lead leg being relatively straight, which will add to his difficulty in causing him to not be able to step back quickly but to have to lean back. Manny has control with the lead foot being on the outside. And speaking of those targets area, any area in green up above, with especially that 0, alright, back to Gio and new man Tim. Tim is executing a jab to the midsection. Now let's break down what's really going on before that jab though. As you can see, he is going to actually initiate the attack, but he's going to be moving vertically upwards instead of shooting forward. This actually cuts into his time greatly here because all of his energy is spent moving upward in the beginning. Now he has to land on the ground and come forward with that momentum, but that at this point is too late. The opponent already saw these actions, Gio saw it, and basically Gio just steps back lightly and extends his glove to check Mr. Tim, and as you can see, the glove makes contact with the head ever so lightly. Okay, I might have to get off track with the footwork for a second. Let's pay attention to what's going on here. New man Tim likes to keep his hands low. Shoots that jab to Gio's midsection. The rest is history. So, about that history, the rest. Basically, this was a slightly counter jab from Gio. What enabled it, though, was what's in that red circle down below. That would be the lead glove of Tim. If that glove had returned to guard, Gio would most likely have still counter jabbed, but he would have hit the back of the glove instead of touching the cheek. Alright, next clip, Gio and Tim again. I'm going to run this clip several times so you can see the illegal switching of stances without attempting to disguise it. This can be costly here. Speaking of costly, let's break down the costliness of it. Some part of that transition from north to southpaw stance and or vice versa, you end up being squared up. If you see the example in the diagram, that red oblong box indicates Tim being squared up in his stance and his body position to Gio. Now, let's switch to Gio for a second. As you can see, I got him highlighted. I got his gloves highlighted. This is not bad, man. He's working with Tim, but still adhering to some great basic principles of boxing. What are those basic principles of boxing? Even working with a new man, which we know sometimes can be dangerous because they are new, not settled in the ring yet, Gio maintains a very lax posture and stance below the waist. But up above, he's locked in. Next clip, Gio and Zane. I think this is going to be another offense and illegal utilization of the footwork by Mr. Zane here. Blatantly switching in front of the opponent. It did look a little smoother than normal though, but you got to remember the detriment of this. Your opponent saw this. Next clip, I have Sean and Will. This is what I call collision. Let's look at it in slow motion. Usually the boxer comes in with one power punch and or move and commits to it so much that he forgets about defense, his footwork, or even offense, because normally he can't even get a punch off because he's choked off. And for this reason and this reason alone, I believe you should have a plan of attack and also a plan of retreat to immediately execute once you've activated the plan of attack. So basically, you got to have your footwork set correctly as you enter to execute the offensive attack, and you also have to have your footwork set correctly so once you're done with your attack, you can immediately go to whatever defensive options are. Some more bad footwork, as you can see, comes in and looks for a grab while walking in a very awkward position. Besides that, head down, eyes facing the floor, both arms extended. This would be a good posture to be in if the opponent happened to be southpaw and was prepared for this. I would call this for bait. Obviously, the opponent Rubio is in a semi squared up stance retreating, so he's in no position to capitalize on Sean in this position. But as you can see the diagram clearly illustrates arms extended, no defensive posture. Next, we got my man Sean back on the ropes. He's about to break the cardinal rule, which is, whilst on the ropes, you must keep your guards up. It's just basic common sense, considering your location, your lack of mobility most of the times due to the ropes. We do not want to forsake any defense in any shape, form, or manner while on the ropes. Paying close attention to the diagram, besides the indicated left glove sitting very low below the hip area, Rubio's already made contact with his straight left. Appears to be the upper chest shoulder area of Sean on the ropes. That's not too far away from the chin. Okay, last clip of the session. This is going to be Gio and Zane, and not much on the negative side here, but I want to point out a couple things about the footwork and what's going on here. Number one, I noticed Zane being very evasive. If you notice, he's always one step in, one step out. Secondary, usually after he takes that step out, he usually steps right or left to get off that line, causing some minor adjustments there by Mr. Gio. That actual stepping off the line is what I refer to as shifting. By shifting, your opponent never gets to really sit down and get a bead on you. Every time he does, you're off the line left or right. Very good tactic to prevent them from punching while you figure things out and get a good feel. If we switch this over to Gio's perspective, good hands up, staying outside. Notice, guards are always up. He steps off the line also. Calls for a quick readjust. Guards are up. There's nothing wrong with keeping your guards low, but practice the thing like it's meant to be done first. When you master that, then you can experiment with all the low guard, blah, blah, blah. Basic in boxing is advanced. Once you master the basics, it instantly turns into advanced.